the book itself is about these ways that God reveals himself. And I think if we're from one tradition or another tradition, we might not recognize all the sacred pathways. So we mentioned community is definitely a way that God reveals himself. I think during the service, I think Catholics have that moment where they greet each other. I forget what it's called, but they spend a good time looking each other's eyes and greeting each other in the Lord. What's that called?
The sign of peace. We offer
There it is, the
peace.
sign of
Yeah.
peace. Right. That is a revelation of God revealed in the community, and that is completely legitimate. Going outside and just walking in nature,
Mhm.
preferably barefoot, if you can, like there is a sacred pathway that the church has long since honored. The scriptures were meant to be said outside. Now we've lost that. We kind of put everything inside the four walls. I know several people, husbands, who are hunters, and they do not experience God's presence. They do not feel it at all. So we call that the manifest presence versus just the knowledge that he's everywhere at all times. But this manifest feeling that he's near, they don't feel that inside four walls, but they'll feel it out in the deer stand, and they're alone for 8+ hours in being extremely silent. And I don't doubt that they experience a revelation of who God is in the quiet. I don't take that quiet, and I probably should. So
Mm.
there's several different pathways. Another one is suffering. I don't think we're trained well to suffer well
Mm.
or to find the God who comforts us while we suffer until we suffer. And then, we're either overwhelmed by the suffering and don't know to look for God to comfort us potentially. I've seen people put up walls and in
Mhm.
their grieving process, they can't experience God. They don't even let in the one who really wants to be closer than a brother. And if he does, and we can trust that, that's another way he reveals himself.
Mhm. Absolutely. No, we were actually just talking about revelation in my class today. I love how God works because this is literally what we're talking about, natural revelation versus divine revelation. Like the kids are always like, yes, I can see God in church, or I can see, I'm like, but you can see God outside of the church. Like, how can we know God just by, and then we talk about Thomas Aquinas, who's like, so
Yes.
anyways, we have gone all around this passage, and I love that you brought this passage to us because I do think it brings us hope. You're mentioning suffering there at the end, but really encouraging us to like know God and